Hello, welcome back to another episode. I'm Donna Polk.
I'm Jonathan Stokes.
And this is Now We Know. This topic barely needs an introduction, truly, but this pop star that began performing with his four brothers when he was a child, and the group that scored its first number one single in 1969 with I Want You Back. By age 11, this pop star was appearing on TV, and by age 14, he had released his first solo album. Please join us in celebrating the life, the legacy, the music, and the artistry of Michael Joe Jackson.
All that.
Yeah.
When did you go see Michael?
I went to see it Saturday on a date that I had.
Okay. You gonna elaborate or
Not online.
fine? But okay. What did the date think of Michael?
Well, he loves Michael Jackson anyway. This was literally his third time going to see it.
Okay,
So,
well.
for him, it was great, you know.
Oh wow.
But I know, and it had only been out for a week. But he's got some critiques of it, which similarly, I think you probably have some critiques of it as well.
I come in critiquing. I saw it last night, a Sunday night. Before we do anything, before we talk about Michael at all, I want to talk to you, Alamo Drafthouse. What is going on? The whole reason that Alamo Drafthouse was even remotely attractive to me was because it was all about the theater experience. Yes, there's the food and the drink, and that can sometimes be annoying. But as somebody who likes a little crunchy moment, a little slurpy worpy, it's fine. Bring it to me in the middle of a movie. I kind of like that. I think it's lovely. I don't have to get up and go. But you get to know your waiters. You also get a membership, which I pay every single month. And you get to develop a relationship with these employees, which I have been doing. You talk about your favorite movies. It's great. I went to a 9 p.m. movie in Chicago, and it was like sitting around a bunch of me's. And I really like that. Okay. It was really lovely. The food is fine, or it was fine, not getting better. Don't know why. But the thing that really has been messed up recently is that they have decided to get rid of their no phone policy, which is another great reason why you would go to Alamo Drafthouse, to replace the waiters with a QR code. So instead of speaking with someone and confirming that we're sitting in the right spot, which what do you know? The minute you took that away, there are issues. I'll get back to that in a second. But now I have to order everything on the phone. There's no customizing. There's no back and forth. Are there allergens in this? None of that. It's just the QR code. Or if you want, I guess you can go to the bar early. But who's eating movie theater food at a table?
Right.
Like, stop. The experience is boo boo. It just sucked. It's like this was the whole point. And then on top of it, I went to go see this movie on a weekend, which I think is the contributing factor because people who go to the movies on weekends do not know how to act in a movie theater. I love a Wednesday matinee crowd. I love a Wednesday night crowd, people who are there to see the movie, not people who are there because you're on a date, because grandma was free, because you're whatever. You know what I mean? These people talking in the movie, these people reacting in such a way, it's like, oh, you want to be on your living room couch, but you want the big screen. Or you're trying to be a fucking comedian and you think everybody wants to hear your commentary. And now that there's no employees there, there's no one to shush them or correct them. People coming in the movie 20, 30 minutes late. The movie was starting at that time since you bought the ticket.
That's wild.
That's the time the movie starts. It I'm so upset because Alamo Drafthouse, like, I love going to the movies. I love the theater experience. Yes, you can watch everything at home, and I think most of you probably should. But for those of us that enjoy the theater experience, Alamo had it down pat. And now, because of money, whatever, they have gutted the whole soul of Alamo. And so now I'm like, okay, the last time I went, It was the first time I saw the QR code. I sat down, I was like, this is my new reality. I'm going to just order from here, whatever. The waitress comes up and she's like, hey, yeah, they're switching to QR codes, but we're still here, whatever, what have you. And I was like, okay, so now I know I don't have to do that QR code. It's fine. I come in this last time. I sat until the movie started to figure out that there are no employees anymore. They
Mm.
quickly made the change to get rid of them. And so now we're just out here in the woods all alone, no guide in sight, nobody with a flashlight. I want to go back to how people act and how people arrive. And the problem with not having these employees there. So, okay, a big theater in Alamo would have probably 3 or 4 different employees working, sectioning off the theater so that everyone was taken care of. This when we get to see Michael, of course, I'm still there 30 minutes early. They have a whole pre-show, which I love the pre-shows. I think it's so nice and thoughtful, except for when people are constantly fucking talking and trying to figure out where they're supposed to sit. Wonder what would happen if somebody was there to help them along their
Yeah.
way. Anyway, so these 2 boys, 19, 20 years old, they are sitting in the row with the accessible seating, and one of the chairs is completely missing. And so I guess there was a mistake with what chair was going to be there, what chair was not going to be there, whatever. They hunt around for an employee for like 10 minutes to find them to try to tell them what's going on. Employee finally comes. There's like 2 managers with them. They roll in and out the new chair. Got it. All right. So they're seated. Everything's good. The movie's about to start probably in like 10 minutes, maybe 5 actually. And then in comes a family, an older daughter. I want to say she's like 50 years old. Her father, who's using a wheelchair, and then the person who is like the home
Mm.
healthcare assistant, whatever. So clearly the chair was missing because they called ahead and it was supposed to be their chair. So then they had just replaced the chair, which took forever. Then they have to go move another chair, which is crazy. She's pissed. He's pissed. I'm pissed. The movie is starting and there's all this commotion going on. But no worries, because nobody is sat by then, because we still have 30 minutes before people feel like maybe I should go see this movie. I love when things start in act 2. So it's just like, I just cherish the movie experience so much, and it pisses me off. One, people's behavior. That's going to be people's behavior. I would have been annoyed at some of the ways that people acted regardless, but now that I can't order my cauliflower basket from Annie. I love Annie. Annie's not there anymore. Annie's gone.
Yeah.
They fired Annie. Like, I can't have this whole experience anymore, and it sucks. And then the other thing that sucks is that the general theater experience at other theaters around here are just kind of piss poor. My old favorite theater, I went to go see a movie. I can't even remember what it was, but I was listening to The Little Mermaid through the wall.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, great. Like, we're done here. We're done here. I'm listening to every single song of The Little Mermaid and I'm trying to watch this movie. And then we have like little boutique theaters, which I also love, but they're inconsistent with the types of movies that they show, and gutted. And the theater or the screens have been replaced with baptism tubs because it was bought by a church who will not play queer movies, which
Oh.
is the whole reason that theater thrived. It was the Rocky Horror Picture Show movie theater,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And now one family church. So I'm mourning the loss of theaters, and maybe the theater experience is just going to go the way of like bowling. You know what I mean? Like, you know how people used to go bowling a
Yeah.
lot? Now they're, I think it might be that because people want to watch movies on their phone, and they even act like they're doing it when they're in the theater. My rant's over. That was just my experience. I'm just emotional about it.
No, and I can sense the emotion, and I can sense that if we ever meet in person, you will never want to go to a movie with me.
There won't be movies to go to. There won't be movies to go to.
So
We'll watch it on Zoom.
it's funny you you say this because the person that I went to the movie with, he like again, he has seen this movie 3 times already, and so he went like one of the first nights that I was out with his friends, and he had very strict rules for his friends. He's like, "Listen, don't none of y'all ask me nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't ask no questions. Don't, like just keep yourself in order." and he takes it seriously because I think it's because of the Michael aspect. I don't know if it's just all movies. I have to I there's more digging to be had, right? I have to understand the depth to
Yeah,
which no talking is allowed. Not
right. We got to go see Doomsday
yeah.
now.
And so we were at one of those theaters where they have like the lounge chairs, which I love. Like that's my favorite. And I don't want to see a movie any other way. One time I made the mistake of going to one theater that didn't have the lounge seats and I didn't know. And I was just in like the crusty, dusty, like foldy chair and it was uncomfortable and whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we're there and I'm like, this is our third date. Of course I'm going to get like a little snuggle in, right? Like, come here, man. So
Yeah.
we didn't think that it was going to be a packed theater necessarily because when we bought our tickets, it was like there's pretty much all availability. And so the arm is back and, we're able to like cuddle basically a little bit. And at one point, I remember like there are these ladies that came to sit next to us and we're like, well, like it doesn't matter, there's nothing that's going to be happening. It's just like I get to cuddle with this man that I'm attracted to and that I like. And so anyway, at some point, I remember like seeing like a little bit of a glance over at us and that happened like a couple times. And so after the movie, he told me that he basically like he had his arm around me and if I were to shift like one way or another, that's when he would notice that she would glance over at us. And I'm like, that's so interesting. Like, were we disrupting her movie experience, Or were we like, I mean, we
What?
didn't full blown make out. We were just like, we had some kisses or whatever, but it wasn't like this whole thing. And so anyway, I was just thinking about like you expressing your disdain with the public and their movie theater and their movie theater
No.
etiquette. And so I'm like, would you hate going to the movie with me? I guess specifically if I'm on a date but also this is my third date. Like,
No, and also those are haters in the chat. That
yeah,
is some weird, like, never been kissed ass energy over
yeah,
there. Because I think that another benefit of going to the movies is that it's a great place for a date. Granted, not a first date
right.
because you're not getting to know each other, but it's outside. It's a once in a lifetime experience watching the movie on that big of a screen. If you're lucky, maybe people will bring you fried cauliflower on a basket, maybe with fries, maybe also including your vegan ranch, but it's okay. I forgive you this time, but don't let it happen again. But like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. Back before the night vision cameras, people were doing a lot more.
That, yes. Yeah.
Is Michael a makeout movie?
No, I mean, we weren't like making out. Not like,
That lady thought you did.
I mean, there were probably like, I would say 8 to 10 times of like maybe 3 kisses,
Oh, come on.
right?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy. Should we digress
But okay,
and
so
get to the movie?
we
Yes.
must. Before we get into the movie, I just want to know what your general experience with Michael Jackson was growing up.
I mean, he was a staple. I got two black parents that listened to all, you know what I'm saying? Like a very, I don't want to say stereotypical black upbringing, but like culturally, musically, that was integrated into everything that we had. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciated the artistry and the musicality and all of that and the talent of Michael Jackson for sure. What about for you?
Yeah. And I think that's same. And I also think that goes beyond, we know that it goes beyond just black
Right.
households, but I think there's something special, especially in black households, because it was such a massive star that was being put out in front of people with an afro and a wide nose for most of it.
Mm.
And like
Yeah.
there was just this connection. And admittedly, like I wasn't born until the 90s, so he was already white womaning down by the time I was cognizant of who he was, but I also think like he transcended so many different generations as that main guy. So it's also this kind of connective tissue between generations. Like they people grew up with the Jackson 5 and ABC and all that stuff. And then I came in around the black and white era
Mm,
and learning about him then, and like all of it mattered super, so much. I'd say the same thing about Tina Turner as well. From when I grew up, my main two artists of choice were Michael Jackson and Tina
yeah.
Turner. And those are the performers. Those are the stars. Those are rock and roll stars. They're pop stars. They can damn near do country and everything else. Like that was it. And because of that period of I guess the early 2000s, with his allegations coming to light, and I guess as I got older, being able to make a choice about what I was listening to, I kind of lost a lot of Michael Jackson in my
Mm,
life. So seeing this movie was really that hit of nostalgia that it was supposed to
yeah.
be.
It was very nostalgic and it was very fun just to like hear the songs playing like throughout or even just hearing some of the like that ideation where he's like in the room and just thinking about like this song and that song and this and da, 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 you know what I mean? Just kind of going back and forth a bit
Yeah,
on creating the hits that we know and love today.
absolutely. Um, do you want to go through the movie chronologically and just give thoughts on it,
Yeah, we can do.
or
It's going to be a
how do
little
you
real
want to go about
relatable
talking
y,
about
I
this?
think, you know,
Yeah,
and we'll
that's fine.
just yeah, just talk about
Yeah.
the movie generally. Yeah.
Sure. So I think that the film obviously opens up with a little bit of a teaser from the end of the movie, the bad era. He's going on stage. We don't see his face at all, but we know what's going on. But then it cuts back to 1966 in Gary, Indiana, to the Jackson 5 famously rehearsing in front of their abusive father, Joe, played by Coleman Domingo, in their living room. And in this opening scene, we see that little Michael is having a really hard time making eye
Mhm.
contact with their father. And maybe it's because Coleman Domingo's contacts are giving fraudulent. I don't know. It was a little bit like I was like, oh, it's like Tiny from T.I. and
Yeah,
Tiny.
yeah.
But I kid. It looked good, but just seeing that kid, and also shout out to that kid that played young Michael. I thought he did such a
Mhm.
fantastic job.
He did a great job.
Like for a kid, as far as kid actors go, I think he did a really good job at presenting vulnerability and also charisma.
Mhm.
Uh, he did that. Um, but yeah, so you're basically in that scene that we've all seen before. Like if you've seen the Jackson's American Dream, that's a good portion of the movie, is this era of them in Gary and working on becoming superstars. What did you think of Coleman Domingo as Joe and Nia Long as Catherine?
I think they both did really well. I think that the unfortunate disease of Coleman Domingo being Joe, like it really came through. You're just like irritated by this character and by his father and how he's treating him and like the self absorption to say, oh well, I created you and you would be nothing without me, that kind of thing, and not really recognizing the talents of his son and like what he innately had. And so I think that he did really well. And I think, I mean, Nia Long, like, she's great, of course. And she didn't have like the biggest role, but it was like impactful. You know, she was the supportive mother. She
Mhm.
was encouraging for all of her children and really like understanding and being an advocate for Michael. I think that something that I was maybe expecting was for Joseph to turn on Catherine at some point and like it
Mhm.
be, I don't want to say made into a story about domestic violence. It just seemed that that would be the trajectory to not just be only on Michael, but literally of the whole family. I don't know. I don't want to like
Mhm.
paint him more negatively as if he needs help, but that was like, I guess, my
No,
expectation in
I
watching
mean,
it.
I don't I don't think there's anything strange about seeing someone who abuses children, innocent children, and thinking, oh, they might abuse adults as well,
Right.
especially gendered violence
Yeah.
against a wife. And keep in mind, they are Jehovah's Witness. There's a patriarchal situation that is being reinforced. It's 1966, so patriarchy is that it's the only option. And also to Nia Long's performance, because I've only seen and remembered a Katherine Jackson performed by now Nia Long, and then before that Angela Bassett.
Mm,
And they both are playing more of a docile
yeah.
character because I think that that is Catherine. I think that they just research and she's kind of meek. But then also this portrayal didn't hit the highs that Angela Bassett hits. And I think maybe some of that is that Angela Bassett won't make it out of a movie without a gritted teeth
Yeah.
monologue situation. But it was interesting to me to see Nia consistently, even in the face of like a heated scene, be what we've seen of Katherine Jackson, being soft spoken, being ultra feminine, dare I say, soft life level, like subservient. I don't know if that's really the word I want to use, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like this gentle, soft thing. And I think it's interesting that that is the portrayal when one, Angela Bassett ate when she was an American Dream, but also this is produced by the Jackson family. So this is their what they want to share is what's being shared. So this is what they wanted to present Catherine as, which I thought was really interesting. They're like, we're going to preserve this. He's the villain. This is the story. Janet and Reby don't exist. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
Yes, Latoya is a Latina woman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And like,
There are some pieces like
it's
that where I'm
interesting.
like, where, but where are certain people, you know?
Right. That was kind of crazy to miss out on that because just as they were, and we missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
We missed out on a lot in the movie. There's so much to cover. Like we said, intergenerational stars. They had cartoons and like there are Easter eggs to things, but like we didn't even get the whiz. You know,
Hmm.
like there are so many things that could be movies in and of
Yeah.
themselves. And I think the one storyline that I would love to see someday is the experience of Michael Jackson becoming Michael Jackson, leaving the Jackson
Hmm.
Five around the same time that his little sister is becoming the first black female pop star to do it in the way that everyone now does it. World tours, big dance numbers, yada yada. Like that's Janet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hell, the head microphone.
Yeah.
You know, I that is such an opportunity, and I'm sure that there will be time in the future to tell this story again and tell it with Janet involved. And I want to know about Reby. What was it like to be Reby? The only person? Yeah, she had Centipede. You know the song Centipede. Have you seen
I
that
don't know if
video?
I've seen it.
It's such a chop, but everyone tried.
Yeah.
Everyone tried their best. But like, what was it like to be Reby Jackson? And like, you're just over there. You know what I mean? Like, that is what's interesting to me. And we'll get into this as we continue through the movie. But again, these are the brothers who are, or in Latoya, as producers. And so they're presenting what they want to present. They're doing this is the story that we're going to be telling, and it's just interesting the choices that they're making regarding sharing or not sharing any amount of like interiority
Yeah.
to these characters, to these people. It's like, no, this is bad guy, soft mom, superstar, brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's very,
There could have
yeah,
been more
dry.
development for
Not
sure.
dry,
I was
sorry.
hoping to be able to connect with each character more. And also, like, it
Mm-hmm.
was a 2-hour movie, but it felt incredibly short. Like, I thought it was going to be
Yeah,
much longer and much
yeah.
more in depth. And, like,
It could have been.
evidently, there are going to be more movies to come out from it. I don't know how many parts they anticipate making, but, like, the next one needs to be 3
Yeah, I
hours
think
at
just one
minimum,
more.
you know? Like, I think we
I
could sit through
agree.
that for sure.
Especially with the music
Yes.
guiding
Yeah.
us, you know, you're sitting in very specific visual eras too. So I think that's another thing. It felt fast because the visuals are like, oh, we're in a different episode.
Hmm.
And I hate doing this because this is COVID brain, this is streaming brain, but every not every time, but a lot more times than not, I will go to a movie now and be like, oh, I wish this was a TV show.
Oh,
So they could really get
yeah,
in,
that's fair.
really dig in.
Hmm.
And that's saying I don't watch TV shows. So like I don't wish it was a TV show
Yeah,
because I'd like to enjoy
yeah,
it. But just this is such a meaty story with so many different nuances that I would love to see covered.
100%.
And I'd be interested to see what a different writer would write to the character of Michael. In the Jackson's American Dream, I feel like, I mean, I remember it was Jason Weaver who played the young Michael Jackson. And like, we got to the story of Ben the Mouse, and like that was such a moment. And that was such a, okay, I understand how Michael Jackson is the way he
Yeah,
is with animals later because I get to see this and I get to know why the song is the
yeah.
song and all this stuff. And we didn't get to sit in much emotional space in this movie because they were playing the hits.
Hmm.
I can't fault them.
Right.
I think the movie turned out great, but I also think I'm wanting something more and something else.
Yeah.
So
I expected to like
I don't
cry
know.
at some point. I expected to
Mm-hmm.
like really be like moved emotionally and like in a variety of ways. And I don't feel like I really got that from it.
Yeah. We get a little bit of the comeuppance of the Jackson Five. We get them discovered by Suzanne DePass.
Hmm.
We get them meeting Barry Gordy and recording ABC and just kind of becoming these stars. And that's something I was like, all these young actors could probably do such a great job here if we could just sit with them and let them speak.
Mm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It kind of, I was like, damn, this is an exciting part. This is a good part of the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
but we brush past that, which I think might be okay because immediately after we get through that, they're in Motown and they're now becoming superstars and yada yada. Then we get to meet Jafar Jackson, who is playing Michael Jackson. I Please, what your thoughts on Jafar's portrayal in this film and performance overall?
Okay. So thanks to the Michael historian that I went to see the movie with, he gave me the lore
Yeah.
of Jafar Jackson. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if it's lore, but I didn't know this at the time. Like, I understood that Jafar is Michael's nephew, but I didn't realize the kind of entanglement that there is of Jafar's parents. He dated this woman and had like children with her and everything. And so once they weren't together anymore, at some point later, Jermaine Jackson, who, if you don't remember from the movie, like he ends up leaving the group for whatever reason. So she and Jermaine, again, Randy's brother, get together and they have Jafar, who is the main character playing Michael. So Jafar's cousins are also his siblings, or his siblings are also his, like, however you think about it, like, he's half siblings with his cousins.
That it's too much. And another thing, another bit of tea that I know, random Jermaine Jackson stuff, is that he did not join them on the, was it Victory Tour? One of the tours? Oh no, he didn't join them at the, yeah, I think it was Victory. He was replaced by Randy,
Mm.
I believe, because he at the time was married to Hazel Gordy, which is what's his nuts? Barry Gordy's daughter. And so it was a family situation. It was like two family situations, but he in the movie Coleman Domingo's Joe says like Jermaine made his choice, whatever. But it's because there were two families kind of feuding over who would make money off of Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, if being real. It's crazy. Also, Jafar's older cousin brother is named Your Majesty, and I'll just never forget that
Wait,
Jermaine has a child that he named Your Majesty.
that is okay.
Shout out Your Majesty.
That's a
All the
that's a choice.
Dramajesties in the world. If you're a Dramajesty listening to this show, please write in. We'd
Right.
love to talk to you about your
We're a
experience.
relatable podcast at
Um,
gmail.com.
right. I forget what we're in the film we were. We were talking about, oh yeah, we just met Michael, played by Jaafar.
hmm
So we were going to talk about his, what were your thoughts on his performance?
I think that he did really well. And I think that the similarities are almost uncanny. I mean, you can tell the differences, right? But it's also quite similar, which is interesting the way that genetics works, you know? And so
It's crazy.
it's I didn't say I wouldn't say that I felt like, oh, like this is definitely Michael Jackson, you know, that kind of thing. But I do feel like he did a pretty good job of portraying him. And
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, I guess that's all I think.
Yeah, I think that's about all I can think because unfortunately, again, the script didn't really allow room for these big emotional
Yeah.
moments. There was no interiority, and it's the brothers kind of making the myth of Michael Jackson, which is interesting, because that's a theme of the movie too. It's like how can we make Michael the biggest star in the world? And so even after his death. I mean, they just tried the hologram
Mm,
situation. Right now, there's a touring stage play that was previously on Broadway. Now there's this movie. Soon there will be a video game and a theme park. But
yeah.
like they are trying to create the myth of Michael Jackson. And when we watch movies, when we hear these stories, especially a biopic, we're looking for some new information. We're looking
Yeah.
for thoughts and
Yeah.
feelings. And as much as I love the scene of him figuring out the lyrics and da, 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 that while it could be true, it could even be documented. I just don't know. That feels like a PR. This is going to be a talking point. When they ask you how you came up with these songs, this is the story we're going to tell because we're not only making you a star, we're going to share you as a
hmm
genius. And so it's I don't know. It was extremely it was a marketing
Yeah.
tool. It was a marketing tool. Which is not bad, but I just think that Jafar could take it there and I really wish that he had the opportunity to take it there.
Yeah.
Though I do hear that he wants to be an actor, so I'm interested to see where he goes next and what his next choice would be because he's going to have to go far, far away from Michael Jackson music, all that. He's going to have to separate himself from the family to get his own
I
name.
mean,
He's going to need a Marty Supreme.
between him and the little boy that played Michael Jackson as a child, like, can you imagine their resume? It's like Michael Jackson as a child, Michael Jackson as a teen. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what more do you need to put on your resume?
I guess, but also I want them to have full
Yeah.
I want them to have full interesting careers so bad because as much as I love that this movie came out, I'm ready for people to stop milking these dead
That's
celebrities.
fair.
I'm good without another Elvis
Yeah.
movie. I don't need to know anything else about
Yeah.
Elvis. We got it. Very good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Another Marilyn Monroe movie is not necessary. And same goes for Michael Jackson, though I do want the second part of this movie because it should be getting juicier.
It should be. I'd hope so. I mean, there's so much to
Speaking,
tell.
he's going to have kids, he's going
Yeah.
to have scandals,
Yeah.
he's going to become a star. And we barely got there. We end the movie on bad, which is like not even, we're not even in black and white, which again is where I started. So maybe it's not that girl, but to me, I was like, oh, he's a superhero actually with black and
Yeah.
white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the film, sorry, we'll continue with the with the storyline. In the film, most of it was about the struggle of Michael deciding to step away from the family business and become a solo star. And so the emotional thread is the coming of age, the leaving the grip of a controlling father, the fear of well, actually, I don't know if they portrayed him being fearful of much. He was like, "No, I'm the shit." So I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think the
Um,
trajectory of him being like kind of like a wounded animal sort of around his father
mhm,
to
mhm.
like finding his empowerment, like I think there probably could have been more story to tell there and
Yeah, yeah.
more depth because like you could tell that he was uncomfortable, but it wasn't really giving I don't think enough to show why he was so terrified or why he was so
Mhm.
uncomfortable that it could not I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I feel like I'm saying the wrong things. Like I'm not trying
There's
to
no wrong thing.
advocate for more violence, emotional, physical, whatever. Like I'm not trying to advocate for that. I just think that it helps make it more impactful to understand the depths to which
Mhm,
you can internalize those experiences, especially as a child who goes through like such the juxtaposition of something so traumatic with your father and your caretaker being your abuser, but then at the same time having such fame and such talent and being pushed in a way that helps create like make you I don't want to say better, but help bring out your talent and help
mhm.
showcase it and that's why you're so successful. So it's like a I mean the mental turmoil of well, but did this really have to happen so negatively to for me to be such a like a beautiful expression of gifts, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a hard thing to determine. And it's like I'm so grateful that Michael Jackson is the way he, or became the artist that he
Sure.
became, and made the music that he did, and performed the way that he did. And we know that that is largely due to the discipline from Joe making this kind of militant
Yeah.
entertainer
Yeah.
work. And I know that I'm enjoying and digesting something that comes from what I would consider to be painful. I'm sure that people in that situation consider it to be just something that happened. But we can say the same for Beyonce and Matthew Knowles. Like we always hear the story about Destiny's Child running on the treadmill in their hills, but we don't talk about that time that Beyonce twisted her ankle and it was out for 2 weeks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We don't hear about that. We don't know if that
Yeah.
happened, but one can only assume that like there's a certain level of these cutesy PR stories that has a tinge of why is an 11-year-old on a treadmill in high
Right.
heels?
Right.
Like, and then thank you for that because I don't know how I would feel if I saw her running around in kids on stage. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know how I would
Yeah.
feel. So, what you gonna do? Um, let's see. So, as we could progress in the movie, Quincy Jones, played by Kendrick Sampson of Insecure, and really Instagram. He is so beautiful. What a beautiful
Mhm.
man. And I actually have a friend who worked with him for his nonprofit, not like for anything film, but he has a nonprofit that I think helps people work within the industry. My friend did IT
Mm.
stuff. But long story short, nothing but great stories about Kendrick and how he talks to people and works with people. So I love that he got in this movie, such a huge movie for someone who I think should have more opportunities. So it was really nice to see him. And you know what movie we need to
Mm.
see? Quincy Jones. Quincy
Yeah.
Jones. He went on that documentary and spilled everybody's guts, or spilled everyone's tea, rather. It's like, let's see what he was doing. I don't know. I think he's such an interesting character. And then who was that played Suzanne DePass? Gorgeous. I forget. I don't know her
I don't know
name.
her name either. But yeah, she was stunning. To be honest, I thought that Joe Jackson was about to be trying to get with her. It seemed like that was a nuance.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I do wonder if there was infidelity. I'm sure that this is all documented, and if it's true, I think back to your thing about wondering if he was abusive to Catherine. I'm wondering if that's documented
Yeah.
somewhere. Um, I'd never heard that, but I would think you're this like he is kind of a sleazy manager surrounded by the rich and the famous. Like, you know what I mean? Men abuse power.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Laura Harrier. Okay, Laura Harrier. Yeah, she's stunning. She was in the Spider-Man movies. Um, that's really all I know her from. But she's awesome. Um, I guess the next big moment in the movie that comes to mind, like obviously we have Bubbles
Mm.
with
The monkey or
the
ape or
chimp,
whatever.
the
Yeah.
three, yeah, CGI. I thought it was cute. It
It was
was,
cute, but I didn't care for that. Like, we really couldn't have gotten a real ape
I
or
know.
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just
Yeah,
anyway.
but it would be PETA would be on their ass. It would cost a lot of money, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I get it. I think they did a fine job with the couple scenes of him interacting with Bubbles, but also the Bubbles thing for me personally coming in the 90s, I was never a part of Bubbles. I didn't care about Bubbles
What's
ever.
the thing with
And
Bubbles?
so I
Maybe
know
I'm
that
missing
hits.
something.
I just remember a lot of jokes growing up about Michael Jackson and Bubbles. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I don't
Um,
care about that. I think that seems
mm.
cool. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
he's got a
know. Like,
monkey
I
or
don't really
ape or
care.
whatever, chimp,
Yeah.
something.
And by the time I was around, Bubbles was gone. So I didn't see
Mm.
Bubbles, but it's like very 80s. The people that were seeing him in the 80s love
Mm.
Bubbles. Um, there were nods to Neverland, of
Hmm.
course. A little tiny nod to The Wiz. I wish that we got to see him making that movie. I wish we got Diana Ross. I do believe that Kat Graham was playing Diana Ross and found out that her scenes were cut like when the movie was coming out.
Yeah, because she didn't want to be part of it, I guess, or no association.
Oh, I don't
According
know.
to my
Oh, Diana
internal
Ross
Michael
didn't?
historian, it is because there are rumors about the relationship of Diana Ross and Michael Jackson based upon her interactions with him as a oh, not even just underage, but like as a minor, like well into his adolescence. So
Oh
I
god.
think there were concerns potentially there. It sounds like.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I'm so not ready to digest that
Yeah.
concept. That sucks. Look, I'm like the he didn't do anything. I just want to hear beat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm one of
Yeah.
those. Um and that would suck about Diana too. But everything can't make it in the movie. This is the movie that is the case for physical media because the DVDs, we'd have commentary, we'd have all the deleted scenes, we'd have director's
Yes.
cut all on one
We're
thing.
on the other side or something.
This is the movie.
Yeah.
We get Off the Wall and we get Thriller. Um, I thought it was cute, the Thriller music video. I thought that looked really cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think it was good to see some of the like sort of executive producing of the music video like in real time. I would have liked to see more of that also, to be honest, just to see like
I agree.
more of the creative genius. I mean, you literally have one of the biggest creative geniuses of ever of the world of all time of ever or of what will be, and you don't really get the elaboration of what was going on up here to create and to
Yeah.
make all of the music and the music videos and the art that we get to consume ongoing. So, yeah, it would have been nice to get more into that for sure.
Yeah. This again, if it was a TV
Yeah.
show, that I want a whole episode that's just making the video of Thriller and the release of that and like what that's
Mhm.
like because that's the music
Yeah.
video.
100%.
That is the music video. Um and then okay, so one of the moments of the movie just really felt 90s to me and it was the scene with the Crips and the Bloods in
Yes.
the dance rehearsal.
I didn't
And I
love
was
that
like,
scene
I
because
know.
it felt somewhat forced and
It was so forced.
very like awkward. Like, were
It
they really
was.
like that? Just next to each other, like
Apparently they
here,
were.
or were they?
Apparently they were.
I would, okay,
This
here's
is
also what I would have loved to see in the movie would be cuts back to the filming or the making of certain scenes that were documented. So, like, if this really happened with the
Mhm.
Crips and the Bloods, cut the real footage of this happening and then cut back to the movie. Like, that
Mm.
would have been really interesting to me, just to have like, hey, here's proof of it, but here's our reenactment, or here's
Yeah.
the moment for the movie, and then here's the OG scene.
Thank you for that because that was what needed to happen during the credits.
Yes,
The credits were not
they were
good.
just the credits. Like, I like it when there's stuff at the credits. Like, literally, I mean, the lights are on or turning on or whatever, but like, I was waiting for the moment where it was like, here's some real footage and here's this and here's that. And like, we get to kind of enjoy a little bit more of it, or like a teaser or something. Like, there was nothing. They gave us nothing to work with.
It was Windows Movie Maker, like
Literally.
animations. It maybe was made on
I
Canva. I did not like that.
Yeah.
I did not like it
It
at
was very
all. It did not
basic.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, it felt the budget was budgeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. But another moment that felt like, okay, this is one of the big moments was when he got his hair caught on fire
Yeah.
during the Pepsi
I
thing.
didn't know that
And I
happened.
thought that scene, oh no, that is such a
I
thing.
had no
That
idea.
is such a thing. Yeah, because okay, so the first of all, the way that they shot it and filmed it and portrayed it, I thought did a great job. I believe that full footage is available of him spinning with his hair on fire because I've seen it. And I think that was like a shot for shot, like how it looked because the audience didn't know that it was real
Mm,
because he was spinning. He's a
yeah.
dancer, he spins, you know what I mean? Until it became obvious that he was screaming in pain. So I believe that's real. I don't know how to find that, but I'm sure a quick Google will help you. But um, I liked that, and I know that they included that because that was the exact halfway point of his
Mm.
life, and that was when I'm guessing they're assuming or they're trying to say that that is when he started his relationship with pain meds,
Yeah.
which ultimately he died of
Yeah.
propofol overdose. So they're saying that like this was the moment when that happened, and then also on top of it, he didn't want to be there
Yeah.
and that sucks. So it makes Joe even more of a
Very
villain,
much so.
you know.
Very much so.
Uh, Um, and then we go into bad really really fast. Unfortunately, no making of anything. I'm sorry, I skipped the victory tour, which I thought was great. That's the moment where he looks his father in the eye and stands up for himself on
Loved
stage
that.
and finds his path and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. Which is it kind of blows my mind that he was this superstar solo artist and still doing Jackson 5 stuff.
Hmm.
Can you imagine? I'm like, man,
He's past that
like
though.
that
That's like, it's once
so
who he
far
was,
past
but
it.
like he has evolved.
And then the thing is that he can be Michael Jackson all he wants. He's still a son. He's still a
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
and it's probably also a black thing. Like we have this familial responsibility, this duty to bring honor to the family and all these things. Like it's very odd to see a person who is black, especially someone who came up in a family unit, just completely dismiss them with no reason other than they want to.
Right.
They have to like earn it by being in pain or something like that. So that's an interesting element there. And I thought that was such a fun scene. The dancing, the staging, the audience, like that was so
Yeah.
fun. I do really wish that we got the making of bad, the ideation. Like where did bad come from?
Hmm.
I don't know. And maybe that's the beginning of the next movie. Maybe they do a jump back to talk about that. But like, when did he decide that he was gonna grow his hair like that and do his hair like that? When did the vitiligo start coming
Yeah.
up and he stopped putting on the makeup?
Right.
Like, there's
Right.
more. So, but all in all, out of 5 stars, I give it 4. I thought it was a very enjoyable
Yeah.
movie. It was so enjoyable. Yeah.
I'm right about there with you, like 3.5, 4. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The
I think
music
it's
is what really like brought me joy.
always.
Right. Yeah.
I saw the Bob Dylan movie. I mean, the acting was phenomenal, but it was really about hearing these songs and how the songs came about and who they were
Mm,
about. And so that's the music
yeah.
biopic. It's the paint by numbers thing. And yeah, I'm excited to see a part two. I hope that there is a part two and they're not just stringing us along because they don't want to talk about the allegations, which the first allegation was in 1993. So we're at 1988
Yeah.
in the timeline. So we're in Neverland. We have Macaulay Culkin coming around the corner. Like there's some stuff. And the I obviously his star continued to rise. He was a huge superstar in my day, but that's when things started to look
Yeah.
rough. And I'd be interested to see how the brothers, or I always say the brothers, but Latoya's on there too, but how the family decides to share that story if they're able to. I heard that they're not able to legally, and that's what the holdup is for the second part.
Yeah, that makes sense if they're not able to legally. And at the same time, it's such a core. There are so many core pieces that are missing. So to where if they didn't
My
share it, it kind
God.
of would make sense. But it's also maybe somewhat of a disservice, but it's still generally like a pretty good movie. And I will too be
Yeah,
watching the second one when it comes out. Yeah.
absolutely. I'll probably be watching this again. I'm gonna guess that they're gonna release it on digital around a holiday. I don't know
I
what
could see
Labor
that.
Day or
Yeah.
something like that. And it'll be on Netflix by Thanksgiving
Hmm.
and it'll be a hit. So yeah, I'm glad that I saw it. Without this podcast though, I was totally gonna skip it.
Yeah. That's funny.
I was gonna skip it, but I'm glad that I saw it and I'm glad that it was well
Hmm.
done.
For our listeners and our
Yeah.
viewers, if y'all have watched it, we certainly want to know your thoughts and your takes on the movie. And if there's anything that maybe we missed that y'all can call out, please let us know. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Now We Know. You can follow me on Instagram at Donna Janine or the podcast at Now We Know the podcast.
And I'm Jonathan. You can find me online at STFU Strokes, pretty much anywhere, mostly on Instagram.
Make sure you are watching, listening, liking, and subscribing to Now We Know wherever you listen.
Thanks for joining us. I hope I see some comments from you.
We will see you guys next month, and I too hope we see some comments.